Hey, what up, guys? Welcome back, man. Welcome back to erbsclass for 5 more minutes of math. So you're probably coming back from the multiplying polynomials video, right? So we can't talk about multiplying polynomials without talking about factoring. Oh, yeah. So think of multiplying polynomials and just multiplying in general and factoring as opposite operations, right? So let me show you what I'm talking about. Something simple, right? 2 times 5. Now, when you multiply 2 times 5 together, can you tell me what 2 times 5 is? Of course it's 10 when you multiply 2 times 5 is 10. Now, those two numbers that multiply together to make 10, they got names. Yeah, those two numbers are called factors. And when you multiply two factors together, of course you get a product. Good. Now, these two things, this 2 times 5 and this 10, we got a special name for them. They're called equivalent expressions. Now, they don't look like much, but they mean exactly the same thing. They're just written differently, right? 2 times 5 is 10, and I can write that either way, and they mean the same thing. So when I take this 2 times 5 and I multiply, I take those two factors and I multiply to get my product 10, I can undo that process. Yes, and that process of taking that 10 and breaking it back down into its two factors is called factoring. Yeah. Now notice both of these numbers, I can divide 10 by both of these numbers, which makes each one of those numbers factors. Let's kick this up a notch now that you know what I'm talking about. Good. Just to bring back a simple example from the previous video of multiplying polynomials, here's my -2 and my quantity x minus 4. Now these are both factors, right? These are individual expressions or individual polynomials, and I can multiply them together. And when I do, it's gonna look like this. Good. And these are called equivalent expressions. Yeah, exactly right. They mean exactly the same thing. One is just factored. So in the next couple of videos, we're going to talk about how to change this into this. And that process is called factoring. Yeah. So let me show you one more example just to sink it all in. Ready? Here we go. Good. So remember from the last set of videos, these are two binomials. And remember what happens when we multiply these two binomials together, we get a trinomial that looks something like this. Yes, exactly right. And now don't forget that this form and this form, they mean exactly the same thing. These are called equivalent expressions. So in the next few videos, we're going to talk about a couple of different strategies to move back from this form back into our original form, split into the two factors. Yeah, that's exactly right. So now on a multiple choice test, even if you don't get the factoring strategies down, on a multiple choice test, don't forget that these are equivalent expressions, right? So if I have to take this and turn it back into this, maybe it's a good idea to go through the choices, multiply the choices out, and see which one comes back to this. Yeah, that's exactly right. So the next few videos will talk about this factoring process, but don't forget the idea of equivalent expressions. Absolutely right. Super huge and important. But let's get on to the GCFs. First step in factoring. I'll see you there. Bye, guys.